You're listening to the Broken Havoc podcast on YouTube, where we discuss everything in and outside of the squared circle. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content, and as the frickin' referee would say, ring that damn bell for more notifications.
What's up, everybody? It is Broken Havoc here, right here on the Broken Havoc podcast, here to review AEW Rampage from January 28th, 2022. I am recording this less than an hour before, of course, the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble is happening tonight. I am 100% excited to see what goes down at the Royal Rumble, but before this, I got my Rampage and SmackDown reviews to go on really quickly, so if I rush, bear with me here. I'm extremely excited to see what happens at the Royal Rumble. I feel like there's a lot of things that are going to be going down, but we're going to be discussing Rampage first. We got Rampage, Beach Break, of course. It's Championship Friday, as AEW was promoting it. Championship Friday. Yes, it was Championship Friday. Just to fix my microphone a little bit. I wanted to have a little bit of fun right there. But, yeah, it was Championship Friday on Rampage, and, you know, we had Jon Moxley wrestle Anthony Bowens. Of course, Jurassic Express defended the AEW World Tag Team Championships. It was a really good match against Private Party. Of course, they teased at the end of Rampage that they were going to be facing Gun Club. I believe it's going to be on Dynamite or on Rampage. Correct me if I'm wrong. I do not know when. I did not take notes on that, but they teased, of course, that. Also, they also teased Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley again. It's specifically happening on Rampage, which I actually really enjoy. You know, again, it gives Rampage importance, and, you know, AEW is really not sleeping on Rampage, and I really love the fact that they're doing, you know, they're announcing and they're really teasing Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley on Rampage, so that is awesome to see. But we are going to be talking about Rampage extremely quickly. This is not going to be a long video, same as the SmackDown review, because of the fact that I am literally, you know, it's 7:09 right now, and right after this, I am filming my SmackDown review, and I'm going to be going as fast as possible, but still try to give you guys an in-depth review. I really want to be that honest with you guys, because nobody's perfect, right? But I'm going to be giving you guys those reviews. Of course, the Royal Rumble, my Royal Rumble review will be up tomorrow on Sunday, and also we got episode 3 of New Shock being uploaded on Monday, so be on the lookout for those videos. Also, I have my Royal Rumble predictions video that I uploaded yesterday, so if you guys haven't checked that out, check it out right here on the channel. But we're going to be talking about Rampage. Rampage started off with Jon Moxley going up against Anthony Bowens. Overall thoughts on this match is that this is a really good opener to start Rampage, in my opinion. It was a fun match. Of course, you got to love the Acclaimed, right? And of course, when the Acclaimed came out in the ring, they basically, once again, nodded to Renee Paquette. Of course, that's Jon Moxley's wife. Of course, Max Caster be talking about her in his raps whenever he's going up against Jon Moxley. But in this case, we got Anthony Bowens wrestling Jon Moxley in this case. The match starts. Moxley goes after Caster. He goes after Caster before the bell even rings, but the match starts. We got a German suplex on Anthony Bowens. We get a chop in the corner by Moxley. Moxley is in control. We get repeated rights by Moxley. We get a shot to the back of Bowens. Then we get a second shot to the back by Moxley on Anthony Bowens. Both are on the outside. Then he sends Bowens to the guardrail. He proceeds to put over Aubrey Edwards, who is the referee of this match, by raising her hand. Of course, Aubrey Edwards is by far one of my favorite referees, not only in AEW, but I mean, she's my flat out favorite referee in AEW. Let's be straight up. All the other referees do not know what the hell they're doing. But out of all the referees, you know, Aubrey Edwards is arguably like my favorite referee. Both fight it out in the crowd. We get a chop by Moxley, sends Bowens over the guardrail. Then he sends Bowens' arm to the post, but Bowens counters, sending Moxley face first to the ring post. We get a chop by Anthony Bowens. Bowens is in control. We get repeated right hands by Moxley, but then we get a couple of chops in the corner by Anthony Bowens. Then Bowens hits a Russian leg sweep after that. We get a cover by Bowens and a near fall. Then Moxley begins to regain control. He takes Bowens to the mat. Then we get a kick by Moxley. Caster grabs the boot of Moxley after that. Bowens goes for a neck breaker. We get a cover twice by Bowens. Both are near falls, by the way. We go to commercial break, but then Anthony Bowens is in control. Then once we're back from break, both are on the top. We get a drop kick by Bowens. Bowens then gets back up. He hits a superplex. We get a cover and a near fall. Then Bowens goes to the middle rope. He misses the sledge, and then Moxley tries to go for the paradigm shift, but then Bowens goes for the elbow. Then after that, Bowens gets sent to the outside. Moxley then hits a suicide dive, or as Excalibur says, the Tumpe Suicida after that, but hits Caster instead of Bowens. So then he hits, Caster goes for the reverse DDT when the referee's not looking. Then we get a cover engineer fall. We get a couple of right hands. No, actually, no, my bad. We get a reverse DDT by Bowens, my dumbass. I confused Caster with Bowens. And then we get a couple of right hands by Bowens. Both exchange shots. Then we get a couple of knees by Moxley. We get a couple of elbows by Bowens. Then we get a right hand by Moxley after that. Then Moxley hits a pile driver, but then goes for a cover, but hits a near fall. We got a couple of elbows to the back of the neck of Bowens. Moxley then tries to go for, I should say, for a sunset flip, but then we get a bunch of roll-up reversals. They're all near falls. Then Bowens goes for a knee strike. We get a cover engineer fall. Moxley then wants Bowens to attack him. Then we get a couple of right hands by Bowens. Bowens then grabs the boombox after that. Then the ref takes it away, but then, of course, Caster gives the chain to Anthony Bowens. Caster then tries to interfere, but then Moxley takes him out. We get the King Kong Lariat by Jon Moxley, and then he hits the paradigm shift on Anthony Bowens. Cover 1, 2, 3. Jon Moxley wins this really good opener for Rampage against Anthony Bowens. After the match, what happens? Danielson, yes, Bryan Danielson looks backstage. He looks at the television screen and sees Jon Moxley, again, teasing a future match at Revolution, which I definitely do see that match happening at Revolution. But that is awesome. Again, I love the fact that they're doing this on Rampage and not on Dynamite. It gives Rampage a sense of importance because, there's a couple of weeks on Rampage where you really just do not care about what's going on. The show is not bad, but, sometimes they book matches that, you really just are not really as invested in. They try to get you invested in, but at the same time, they're not really as invested. But I love the fact that, they're really doing this whole tease with Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley on Rampage. I think, again, it gives a sense of importance when it comes to Rampage. And Rampage has been really good these past couple of weeks, in my opinion. All right. Andrade El Idolo is backstage, and he goes to Sting's locker room. But then what happens? Darby Allin is in the room. Of course, Andrade wants to offer Sting a contract, and he thinks that Sting, or Darby Allin, I should say, is working for Sting, but that is not the case. And then, of course, Darby Allin, being the babyface that he is, he rejects the offer. And then all of a sudden, Darby Allin has that sense that he's getting threatened by Andrade. And then what happens? He pulls a freaking baseball bat from behind the couch that he's sitting on in the corner of the locker room and then threatens him. But then Andrade just tells him to think about it. So a lot of teasers going on here, but is Darby Allin really going to turn heel with Andrade? Absolutely not. Like, Darby Allin is one of the top baby faces in AEW, to be quite honest with you. I think it's really stupid on AEW's part to have him join Andrade, but I definitely do see a future match between Andrade versus Darby Allin. I think that'd be a really, really fun match, in my opinion. Here's a really good match that I want to talk about. FTR, Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood going up against the Nightmare Factory's Brock Anderson and Lee Johnson. Overall, this was a really good match, and, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Brock Anderson looks like his father, Arn, when he was younger, man. I don't know why, but, bro, he looks younger than his father, Arn. But overall, this was a really good match. FTR is arguably one of the best tag teams in the world today. Cash Wheeler and Lee Johnson start, both lock up. We get a wrist lock by Cash. And then we get a side headlock by Cash. We got a shoulder tackle by Cash after that. Brock Anderson then tags in. We get an elbow by Brock. Then we get a Hurricane Rana by Lee Johnson. Cash Wheeler's in the corner. Dax tags in. We get a waist lock by Brock Anderson. Then a wrist lock by Dax. Then we get a side headlock takeover by Dax Harwood. We get a cover and a near fall. We get a double duck by both Dax and Brock Anderson. Then both sell the shoulder tackle. I don't even know what the hell I wrote there. I kind of messed up my notes right there. My apologies. Both lock up again. We get a shoulder tackle by Dax. We get a clothesline by Brock. Lee tags in. We get a double suplex by Lee and Brock Anderson. Then we get a drop kick on Cash by Lee Johnson. Then Lee Johnson takes out Cash Wheeler after that. Then he goes for sentons on both sides of the ring, taking out both members of FTR. Then after that, we get a diving crossbody by Lee Johnson on Dax Harwood. Once we're back from commercial break, Dax sends Lee Johnson into the corner. We get a boot by Lee and then hits a neck breaker after that. But then Cash Wheeler tags in. Lee tags Brock Anderson. We got a couple of clotheslines by Brock. Brock goes for a side slam. and then he works on Cash in the corner of the ring. Then Brock Anderson hits a gut wrench after that, which looked really awesome. Then he knocks Dax out. We get a roll up by Cash Wheeler, then by Brock. We both are all near falls. Then Lee Johnson is the legal man. Brock Anderson hits the DDT after that. Then Lee Johnson hits a frog splash, it looked like a spinning frog splash, which was a really beautiful frog splash. It was an awesome frog splash by Lee Johnson on Cash Wheeler. We get a cover into near fall when Cash gets his foot onto the bottom rope. Then Brock Anderson faces Tully, but then what happens? Arn Anderson is behind Tully Blanchard on the outside of the ring. Then Lee goes for a lateral press on Cash. Dax Harwood tags in. We get a spike pile driver. We get a cover, and both Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood, FTR, win this really good match against Lee Johnson and Brock Anderson. This was a really good match for Rampage. Any FTR match that you watch, and it can literally be any FTR match, they will give you 110%. FTR is arguably one of the best tag teams in the world today, and I was actually really disappointed that we didn't get the Briscoes versus FTR at the GCW show last week. But whatever, FTR is awesome. Brock Anderson and Lee Johnson make a really good tag team. Again, Brock Anderson looks like his father back in the 80s, man. I do not know why. A lot of people are saying that, but dude, he looks exactly like his father. But again, Lee Johnson, dude, the guy was like one of the MVPs of the match, if not the actual MVP of the match, man. That was a really nice frog splash that he here near the end of the match. And Lee Johnson, again, is one of the best wrestlers in AEW, in my opinion. But overall, a good match. Here's one thing I want to talk about. Mercedes Martinez and Thunder Rosa, we get a video package of them. They announced that Thunder Rosa is going to be challenging Mercedes Martinez, so they're going to be wrestling next Friday on Rampage. And technically, it's actually going to be next Wednesday, considering the fact that they tape Rampage on Wednesdays and then they air it on Friday. But we're going to be getting Thunder Rosa versus Mercedes Martinez next week on Rampage. Okay, I'm excited for that, but one gripe I have is the fact that, Mercedes Martinez, of course, interfered in the match between Jade Cargill and Thunder Rosa on the last Dynamite on TNT. Of course, that was the semifinals for the TBS Championship tournament. And about that, I was extremely happy that they brought in Mercedes Martinez, but at the same time, after these couple of weeks, the only thing that we have seen regarding Thunder Rosa and Mercedes Martinez was first in the finals of the TBS tournament when they were both brawling on the outside. But then after that, all we got were just video packages of them speaking to each other. And I don't think that's enough. I understand you only have 3 hours per week on television. Of course, you got 2 hours on Dynamite on Wednesdays and only 1 hour on Rampage. But still, give me more for when it comes to Mercedes Martinez and Thunder Rosa. All we've gotten so far is just video packages. And I don't think that's enough time, in my opinion, but that is just me. But we're going to be getting Mercedes Martinez versus Thunder Rosa next week on Rampage, and I think definitely that will be a really good match. I'm still waiting for that Britt Baker Thunder Rosa match. I definitely do see them booking that match for Revolution. Or maybe they can, Britt Baker can lose the title at, you never know, Double or Nothing, but that's just me far-fetching. But still, we're going to be getting Thunder Rosa versus Mercedes Martinez next week. We get a video package of Serena Deeb. Of course, she is a heel now, and I will say she has been a really good heel. But when it came to her matches with the Karu Shida, I felt like we've seen already too much of their matches, but that is just me. But of course, Serena Deeb is now a heel. We got Jade Cargill versus Julia Hart for the TBS Championship. I'm going to say this right here, right now. It is so weird seeing the TNT Championship defended on TBS and then the TBS Championship defended on TNT. That is kind of weird to me, but it is what it is. This was a short match. Jade definitely got most of the offense in this match. Jade, of course, is definitely improving in the ring. Do I think she should have been the first TBS champion? No, I thought it would have been a much better decision to put Thunder Rosa in that predicament going up against Ruby Soho. And I'm gonna be honest, I did not like the match between Ruby Soho and Jade Cargill. That's just my opinion. But still, overall, this match was short. Both lock up. We get a side headlock by Jade. We get a shoulder tackle by Jade. Jade goes for the spinning backbreaker after that. We get an elbow drop by Jade after that. We get a cover and a 1 count. Jade is showing off doing push-ups and then sit-ups during the match. Then we get a roll-up by Julia Hart, but then Jade powers out. Then Jade no-sells a couple of clotheslines by Julia Hart. Then we get a kick by Julia. Julia works on Jade in the corner, but then Jade picks up Julia, but Julia counters into a Hurricane Rana attempt. Goes for the cover and a near fall, but then Jade hits a boot on Julia Hart. Jade then goes for the Jaded cover, and Jade Cargill retains the TBS Championship. Again, it was a really short match, but it was not a bad match. Of course, Jade Cargill is definitely improving in the ring, and you can definitely see that improvement when you watch all of her matches week by week. So that is great to see. All right. In the main event of the evening, we got Jurassic Express taking on Private Party, of course, Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. This was a really good match. There was a lot of spots that happened in the match, but still, this was a really fun match. I really enjoyed the match. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus are, as always, amazing. Private Party as well. I mean, Private Party just flat out, just awesome. I'm a big fan of Private Party. I was a big fan of them when they first brought them in AEW. But we're going to be talking about this match, of course. This match is for the World Tag Team titles. Right as soon as the match started, they hit the Private Party goes for the gin and juice. Yes, they hit their finisher right as soon as the match started. But we got a cover into near fall. But then Mark Quinn goes to the top. We get a neck breaker, footstep combo by Private Party. We get a cover into near fall. Then both Quinn and Cassidy go to the top, but both miss and land to the mat after that. Luchasaurus then tags in, but then Private Party escapes. Luchasaurus then takes out Blade, and then he sends Cassidy onto the ring apron. Then he grabs Mark Quinn and sets him up for a chokeslam. But when the ref is not looking, Matt Hardy hits him with a chair. We go to commercial break, and Private Party is in control during the picture-in-picture break after that. Once we're back from break, the Hardy family office continues to interfere in the match. Cassidy then crashes onto the guardrail. Luchasaurus then hits a clothesline onto the outside. Then Luchasaurus tries to tag in, but then Private Party grabs the leg of Luchasaurus. Then Private Party pushes him away, but then Jungle Boy eventually tags in, and he's the legal man. Then he works on Private Party. He throws Quinn to the outside. Jungle Boy then hits the Tumpe Suicida, a.k.a. the Suicide Dive. Then he goes for a second Suicide Dive after that, but then Jungle Boy hits a senton on the outside. Then Jungle Boy tries to go for the Brainbuster, but then Cassidy counters with an Enziguri. Then we get a cover into near fall. Cassidy goes to the top, but then Jungle Boy tags in. Jungle Boy then goes to the top, but Mark Quinn comes as well. He comes in as well. But then Luchasaurus comes in and has Jungle Boy up, and this was arguably, in my opinion, my favorite spot of the entire match. Cassidy tries to go for a crossbody, but then Jungle Boy turns it into a freaking power slam when Luchasaurus holds him up. That was arguably the best spot of the entire match. I dead ass enjoyed that freaking spot. One of my favorite spots, if not my favorite spot of the entire match. We got a cover into near fall after that beautiful power slam by Jungle Boy when he was on top of Luchasaurus. Then we get a pump kick by Mark Quinn. We get a headbutt by Luchasaurus. Then Cassidy goes for the swinging DDT. We get a roll up by Jungle Boy after that. We get a near fall. Jungle Boy then applies the snare trap, but Quinn goes to the top rope. Quinn then hits the shooting star press, but then Quinn tags in. He takes Jungle Boy to the top. Jungle Boy then reverses it into a Canadian Destroyer off the top. Then Jurassic Express goes on Private Party. Then we get a cover. And then after that, Jurassic Express basically hit the Jurassic Express. And then we get a cover. And Jurassic Express retains the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Overall thoughts, this was a really good match. Private Party looked great. Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy always looked great. I love the fact that they're having title matches on Rampage again. It makes Rampage as important as Dynamite. Of course, Dynamite is the more important show, but at least it gives you a sense of importance when it comes to Rampage. But then what happens after the match? The Gun Club attack Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, and then they hit the tag titles on Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, and the Gun Club, of course, Austin and Colton Gunn, stand tall with the World Tag Team Championships, and then the show ends. Overall thoughts on Rampage. I thought Rampage was not a bad show, in my opinion. It was not a bad show at all. I love the matches on the show. FTR versus Lee Johnson and Brock Anderson was a really good match. Probably my favorite match of the entire night. Of course, we had Jon Moxley going up against Anthony Bowens. All the matches were really good in the show. Of course, we had that teaser when it came to Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley, which I'm really excited. We're definitely going to see a lot of things go down in the next couple of weeks on Dynamite and most likely Rampage as well, since considering the fact that, they teased this match at Rampage. So it's going to be great to see, but overall, the Rampage Beach Break episode was a really good show. I really enjoyed the show. But yeah, please, that was my AEW Rampage review from January 28th, 2022. Be on the lookout for my SmackDown review that is going to be uploaded right after I upload this Rampage review. Also, be on the lookout for my Royal Rumble review. Of course, the Royal Rumble is tonight, and I'm really excited to see what happens at the Royal Rumble. So be on the lookout for those videos. And this is Broken Havoc from the Broken Havoc podcast, signing out.